Yo, welcome back to Fridays on our collab. Sorry I couldn't post on Tuesday. I didn't quite, I wasn't ready, I guess. I was just super busy. So this next week I am posting on Tuesday and hopefully I will have it all figured out then. But today I'm posting on Friday. And so next week's video will be regular. It'll be on Tuesday, nothing new or whatever. So this week's theme is ranting. If you've seen the other girls' rants, they were freaking great. I agree 100% with every single one of the things that they all said. So I'm gonna be filming my ranting video, kind of like how you would do the strip down challenge. I don't want to edit it because I guys want you to see my pure emotions and frustrations about the things I rant about. So yeah, let's just get on with the video.
What you gonna do with that dessert? Do what, dee da, dee da, dee da. Do what, do da, dee da, do da, dee da.
Okay, so I'm gonna be ranting about a couple things, really. So the first thing I want to rant about is extreme feminism. Before you dislike this video or click off or something, let me explain my point. So what I mean is these girls who say they're feminists and then they go around and start hating on men. Saying that, oh, women are better than men. Women are stronger than men because they go through all of this. And women are they deserve more money than men because they work harder. Which, it depends on the person, first of all, who works harder at a job or whatever for getting paid. If the person is there more, present more at their job and works harder than a woman, if he's a man, then yes, he should get paid more. But if a woman is working harder at her job and is there at work more than a man, then she should be getting paid more. That's just my perspective. It doesn't matter who it is, what their sex is. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. I just can't, I cannot stress this enough. I obviously support, equal treatment of the sexes, but I don't support when women say that they're better than men because that's sexism. Maybe hard for people to grasp, but it's not just when men think that they're better than women. It's also when women think they're better than men, and people need to see both sides of the equation. That's just where I'm going with it. The second thing I want to rant about, that was super heated for me, but the second thing I want to rant about is racism and stuff. And I know I probably have no room to talk because I'm white and white people are way more privileged than other races. But oh my goodness. My thing is, everyone thinks, oh yeah, racism's not an issue anymore because we had our first black president in America, which was Obama, and then we aren't segregated or anything anymore like we were in the 50s and the 60s, but racism is still an issue, guys. Have you gone to the South? Have you seen the Confederate flags? Have you heard of the Ku Klux Klan? Obviously they're not as active as they are, but they're still here in America, and racism is still an issue. Obviously people aren't blatant and obvious about it, but there are still people who are racist, and it's just mind-blowing for me that that's still an issue, especially with Donald Trump. The huge thing that is occurring is racism against Mexicans because they're coming into America and escaping their own country, whether they be legal immigrants or non-legal immigrants. Most people in America, at least that I know of, the most people that I talk to, don't support Mexicans in America, which I don't understand because they're all saying how Mexicans are taking our jobs, but how is that affecting you if they're taking the jobs that nobody wants? They're taking the jobs at the fast food places, they're taking the jobs working in the lawn, and they're not, I don't really want to say taking jobs because nobody wants those jobs. Nobody goes into high school and they're like, oh yeah, I want to work at McDonald's for the rest of my life. Excuse me? If anything, I would be thanking them because now you don't have to be working at McDonald's for the rest of your life. I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say, but I hope you guys are getting what I'm my point. Just racism and the whole thing about Muslims and stuff, like how Trump, I don't know if he's still doing it, but a long time ago he said he wanted to mark all Muslim people's IDs to show that they're Muslim. Like, if I hadn't gone to school, I probably wouldn't have recognized that that's exactly what Hitler did with the Jews back in the Holocaust. He marked them all with the Star of David on their clothes. I mean, first it's their IDs, then what's next? Are we going to send the Muslims to concentration camps? Like, excuse me, not all Muslims are terrorists. If a white Christian goes and, like, bombs, like, a city or something, nobody's going to go and, like, hate on white Christians. That's just my thing. Like, but if a Muslim or a black man or a black woman, if they go and do, like, perform an act of terrorism, then everyone's like, oh, Muslims are bad, oh, blacks are bad. Like, no, they're not. Like, it's just that one person, and there are probably other people like them, but that's not the majority of those people. Like, I don't want to say those people either. I'm, like, trying to not sound racist when I'm talking about not being racist. Like, oh my gosh, it's so, I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I hope you guys are getting what I'm, like, trying to say, because I don't want to sound rude about the topic that I'm supporting just because I'm white. Like, I feel like me talking about racism, like, I feel like I don't have a place to say anything about it because I haven't experienced, like, I haven't experienced not being privileged, because I consider myself very lucky in society to have, like, a roof over my head and to have people not look at me weird or something because I'm not white. But that's just me. The third thing I wanted to talk about, I forgot. So I'm sorry. I'm like, my mind is, like, going in all these different directions. When I, like, talk about a subject, I get really heated. Hang on, I have to think. Oh yeah. The third thing I want to talk about, I realized, like, Bianca already talked about, like, LGBT community, like, or, like, LGBTQ, but I wanted to do, like, a brief spiel because I feel like I wanted to talk about it as well. Basically, my view on that, especially, like, transgenders, because I see more people come out as transgender now that were, like, in the 21st century, we're in the 2010s or whatever, people are, like, coming out as transgender. Like, I can't stress enough how much I hurt for them, especially transgenders, because I feel like people are getting more warmed up to people who come out as gay, at least what I've seen. People are more accepting of that in society, unless they're, of course, like, an extreme Christian, which I want to say for everyone who hates Christianity because they think that all Christians think that gay is a sin. I personally, as a Christian, do not believe that being gay is a sin. And everyone points out, like, this one thing in the Bible where it says that sleeping with another man is a sin or whatever. But my thing is, especially in the Old Testament, it's very hard to really grasp what we as Christians are called to be like, because that was before Jesus even came to earth, and our whole religion is based on Jesus and how he lived his life and what he told us to do as Christians and followers of him. So my thing is, I'm very lenient about the Old Testament, the things that it says in there, because obviously nothing about it had anything to do with Jesus, and it was just people interpreting what they thought God was telling them. I mean, some of it, people probably didn't even hear God. Maybe they were just hearing their own voices in their heads. There's another chapter in Psalms where it says something about, like, happy are those who bash the heads of babies of their enemies on rocks or something. And, like, that's just an example of something in the Bible that's just completely ridiculous. Like, you can't take the Bible literally. And so I always say, if Jesus wanted to, how do I want to say this? If Jesus wanted to say that like gay was a sin, then he would have said it. But he obviously, even if gay is a sin, I don't think you would be condemned to hell for being gay. Like, you can't control who you are attracted to. And Jesus would go and sit with sinners and like prostitutes and adulterers and stuff like that. And he would eat with them. And so I feel like since Jesus has this much compassion for people who commit sin, if being gay is a sin, then why would he just exempt that? What makes being gay so bad? Like, I just want to know. Like, if there's a cute guy, like, girls, if you see a cute guy and he's like really attractive to you and he's really nice and stuff, and you're attracted to him, what's wrong about that? Like, what makes gay wrong and what makes being straight right? Like, I don't understand that. It's just you being attracted to somebody. Like, sorry for liking this person, that's just who I am, kind of thing. Like, oh my god, I just kicked something, sorry. This is such a long rant, oh my goodness. And then, transgenders, my thing is, I want you guys to imagine this. Okay, so if you're a girl, imagine you were born as a guy, and guys, imagine if you were born as a girl, and your whole life, from like the time you're born to like the time you die, you look down and you see that your body just isn't what you think it should be. In your head, you feel like you should be the opposite sex. Like, you look down and you're like, that's just not right. And you don't feel comfortable in your own skin. That's the thing. Like, you can't go out in public. You can't even look in the mirror without feeling disgusted with yourself. It's like, girls, if you looked down and you saw not what you're supposed to have, and you had to look in the mirror and see that, I'm pretty sure you would barf and you would scream. And if your parents told you to wear boy clothes, you'd probably want to kill yourself. That's just where I'm thinking. Because me as a girl, if I looked down and I didn't see my female parts, and if I had to go around and wear boy clothes and I had to be attracted to other girls, I don't think I could live with myself. Because in my mind, I'm a girl. That's just who I am. And if I was born as a guy, I don't know what I'd do. I would be so trapped. I'd feel trapped and I'd want to claw myself out of my own body, like, just to be me. That's just like, I can't even imagine the things that transgenders go through and that struggle that they have, especially with society and how society thinks that you're born one way, that's how you're supposed to be. Like, it's like a mental condition where you don't feel right in your own body. Your soul lives in a different sex, in a different gender, and that's like terrifying to even think about. But people need to realize it's like depression or anxiety. You can't just make it go away. It's always there. So that's just my view on that. And I hate how society just mistreats these people and looks down on them and like hates them for it, because that's just who they are. Okay. So I'm sorry that this rant was like super long, and I hope you guys stayed to the end. I won't be like telling you to follow and like all that stuff. I won't even talk about it. I just want this to be about ranting and stuff. I won't even link social medias down below. But please, if you want to offer your side of what I said, if you disagree with me, please drop that down in the comments. I'd love to have a conversation with you. I don't want to get into any arguments, so please don't be rude in the comments, but I will listen to your side and I will respect you for your opinion, and I hope you can respect me for mine. I just want to be like respectful about this. And yeah, I'm sorry, like I'm like looking all over the place because I'm nervous. I don't like to talk about this a whole lot because a lot of people don't agree with what I have to say. Yeah, and like it's super long and stuff, but I wanted you guys to like see raw footage of me like talking about this. I want you guys to see like my emotions and stuff. So I'm not like cutting it out or anything. I'm just gonna post it as is. I'll see you guys on Tuesday next week. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Bye.